a plausible thing for you to believe that Maryam alayhi salam was in haram nikah?
No, it wouldn't be plausible that Maryam. It would be wrong. I'll say that it will be wrong. Allah Subhanahu wa Taala says that Maryam is purified. So on that basis, I cannot believe that she is in a haram marriage.
The person you have accepted as a prophet of Allah, i.e. Mirza Ghulam Qadiani, he believes this.
Monakas, if we show you today, not right now, would you leave the cult?
Yes, I would have no choice because I agree with that statement.
MGA had conceded that this nikah was haram, it was illegitimate as per the law of Torah. Then MGA tried to justify the haram nikah, and we'll analyze this. Mirza Ghulam Qadiani is not disputing the fact that this nikah was against the law of Torah. However, he is giving us justification, which we are not interested in. He said that Maryam was married during pregnancy, and this marriage during pregnancy was unlawful. Jaiz nata. Something was haram. Jaiz shar'an. And by the way, Mirza says shar'an jaiz nata. It was from the Sharia of Musa alayhi salam, which was binding on Maryam salamun alayha. Mirza says this nikah was illegitimate. Why Maryam alayhi salam was married right in the middle of her pregnancy? Because this was against the law of Torah. और बतूल होने के अहद को तोड़ दिया, and she was going to be bachelor. Why did she break this promise, this covenant? Mirza says that how come, even though Joseph the carpenter had a wife already, why did Maryam agree on this marriage? Now don't forget at this point, now Mirza is telling us that this marriage took place with the consent of Maryam. That's the key point in this passage.
Monakas, is this clear now that Mirza Ghulam Qadiani had this belief?
Yes, I accept it. This is Mirza Ghulam Ahmad's statement. Yes, I accept it.
So by that virtue, that now you should actually leave the cult, because you said that if this is the case, if he believed it and put this out, you will leave the cult.
I'm asking you this question. Is it a plausible thing for you to believe that Maryam alayhi salam was in haram nikah?
No, it wouldn't be plausible that Maryam would.
If somebody claiming to be a prophet of Allah and believing that this nikah was haram, what would you say about this person? Leave me the Ghulam Qadiani. It's a simple question.
If some, well, it would be wrong. I'll say that it will be wrong. I will
Why?
say
Okay. Wait, okay, you said it's not something even plausible for you to consider to believe that Maryam alayhi salam was in a haram nikah. Why it is not plausible for you? Tell me the reason.
Because when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala narrates the story of Imran, he himself says that her progeny will be, the wife of Imran her progeny will be purified, and even the descendant of her progeny will be purified. And in Surah Maryam as well, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that Maryam is purified. So on that basis, I cannot believe that she is in a haram marriage.
So basically, on the basis of, if I understood your point properly, Munakas, on the basis of Quran and Sunnah, you cannot believe that she was in a haram nikah, right?
No, that's right. The Prophet himself said that. No.
Good. The person you have accepted as a prophet of Allah, i.e. Mirza Ghulam Qadiani, he believes this.
Okay, I will check up the.
Monakas, if we show you today, not right now, would you leave the cult?
Yes, I would have no choice because I agree with that statement, and I have really no choice because I cannot agree with such a statement, of course.
Imtiaz bhai, put up the quote. Just put it up. Put it up. We'll put it up.
Dan bhai, inshallah, you can talk. Let me pull it, inshallah. You can talk in the meantime.
Okay, so Monakas, we're going to show you right now that this is exactly what Mirza Ghulam Qadiani wrote and endorsed, and this was his statement. And if he's writing this, clearly he's not a prophet of Allah. He's contradicting the Quran directly. He's contradicting the Prophet ﷺ directly. Okay, so that alone should suffice for any sincere person to know that this person was clearly not a prophet of Allah. Okay, so he claims to have used a dubious source that he himself endorses. Okay, so he uses an unknown source and confirms the veracity and the authenticity of the statements made therein, and then that means that's his own state. We're going to show it to you right now. We went through it not long ago, inshallah. Yeah. And then hopefully Allah will show you light, inshallah. And we believe you. You seem to be a decent person. Hopefully, inshallah, Allah will show you light, inshallah. Okay, we're going to show it to you right now.
So, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. So, Munakas, first of all, let's inshallah begin with the basic case. So, inescapable, unavoidable result of the narrative of Mirza Ghulam Qadiani is that Maryam's nikah was haram, nauzubillah, as per the law of Allah. Now, points to be noted. Inshallah, let me present my case now. Point number 1. This nikah, which was done during her pregnancy, was haram, illegitimate, as per the law of Torah. And law of Torah, in this regard, at the time of Sayyidah Maryam salamun alayha, was the law of Allah, was the Sharia of Allah. Okay. Now, MGA had conceded. Now, these are the 2 points. Inshallah, I'll show you the reference for these 2 points. MGA had conceded that this nikah was haram. It was illegitimate as per the law of Torah. Then MGA tried to justify the haram nikah, and we'll analyze this justification very soon. So this is the whole case, inshallah. I'll present to you now with the reference. Okay, first of all, brother, this is the reference. By the way, this reference is from Al-Hakam, but I will back it up with the books of Mirza Ghulam Qadiani, which are accessible to anyone. Now, first reference, Al-Hakam Akhbar, 1902, 24th of July, page number 16. And if you want to see the, inshallah, original, we can produce that. Aisa nikah, Taurat ke khilaf hai. He says that this nikah, i.e. the nikah of Maryam alayhi salam, it is against the law of Torah. क्योंकि वो अहद जो मरियम के तारिका रहने में खुदा से किया था, वो इसमें टूटता था. Because Maryam had made a covenant with Allah that she will never do nikah. And by doing this nikah, she was going to break that covenant between her and Allah. ताहम नंगो नामूस की मसलहत ने और शमातत आदा के खौफ ने इनको इस काम के लिए सख्त मजबूर कर दिया. He said, however, in order to protect the dignity of the family, in order to avoid the objections of the enemies, they were forced into this. हर चंदा इस हमल को इस तरह पोशीदा किया गया. And through this marriage between Joseph and Maryam, family tried to keep the pregnancy secret. Family wanted to keep the pregnancy secret. So that's why they married Maryam and Joseph the carpenter. Now, next one. 1902, same Akhbar Al-Hakam, same page number. अब इस जगह पे तब ये सवाल पैदा होता है. Mirza says, there's a natural question here. बावजूद इस मौक़द अहद और नजर के जो मरियम के बाप और माँ और खुद मरियम की तरफ से था, he said, despite that strong covenant and that vow, that nazar, that vow which मरियम has taken that she will not marry, फिर क्यों मरियम ने खावन कर लिया और तौरात के हुक्म को तोड़ दिया? I want you to please take note of this. In the first reference, ऐसा निकाह तौरात के खिलाफ है. Mirza Ghulam Qadiani is not disputing the fact that this nikah was against the law of Torah. However, he is giving us justification, which we are not interested in. Okay. Then in this one, he says that ये तौरात के हुक्म को तोड़ दिया. So this marriage between Joseph and Maryam, it was to break the command of Torah. इस सवाल का जवाब किसी पादरी ने सफाई से नहीं दिया, बल्कि हाल ही में मुझे एक फाजिल यहूदी की किताब मिली है जिसने सही तौर पे इस उक्दा को हल कर दिया है. He said that no Christian priest has been able to answer this question. Which question? That why did Maryam break the law of Torah through this marriage? Mirza says that I have access recently to the book of a learned Jew, and this book has solved the puzzle for now. What was that puzzle? Now let's continue. Malfuzat, volume number 4, latest edition, page number 100. Maryam ke nikah se 3 qasmein todi gayi. This is the title given by Mirza Ghulam Qadiani's own Jamaat. They said that through the marriage of Maryam, there were 3 oaths which were broken. Maryam ka nikah hamal mein kiya gaya. Please, brother Munakis, take a note. Maryam ka nikah hamal mein kiya gaya, jo shar'an jaiz na tha. He said that Maryam was married during pregnancy, and this marriage during pregnancy was unlawful. Jaiz na tha. Something was haram. Jaiz shar'an. And by the way, Mirza says shar'an jaiz na tha. It was from the Sharia of Musa alayhi salam, which was binding on Maryam salamun alayha. Mirza says this nikah was illegitimate. और एक निकाह से 3 कस्में तोड़ी गई. यानी he says that there were 3 oaths which were broken through this one marriage, one nikah. What are they? Number 1, माँ ने अहद किया था कि निकाह ना करूंगी, और खुद मरियम ने भी अहद किया था कि निकाह ना करेगी. Basically said that the parents of Maryam have made this covenant that this child will not marry and she will be dedicated to the temple. And then he said that secondly, Maryam herself has taken the oath as well. And third reason is nikah was done in pregnancy. Okay, so these are the 3 reasons which make this nikah jaiz na tha, illegitimate, haram. Okay, now next thing is Malfuzat, volume number 2, page 504. इसलिए उन्होंने इस बात की भी जरा परवाह ना की. Said that the elders of the Maryam, they did not care कि इस निकाह से शिकनी का इर्तिकाब होगा, that this nikah is going to break the covenant between Maryam and Allah, या दूसरी शादी की वजह से बकौल यसु मसीह ये जिनाकारी ठहरेगी. और this marriage, nauzubillah, said according to Isa alayhi salam, this marriage will be considered adultery or fornication. या हामिला का निकाह करना जायज नहीं. Mirza says that according to the law of Torah, it is illegitimate, it is haram, it is najaiz, okay, for a pregnant women to get married. So Mirza is giving us the multiple reasons that from multiple angles this nikah was haram. अजीजों ने भी समझा कि अगर अब खामोशी की गई और निकाह ना किया गया तो नाक कट जाएगी. Mirza says that the elders of the family, they considered that if we will not organize this nikah between Joseph and Maryam gives birth to a child, it will be a source of humiliation for the entire family. So let's cover it up, because when she will be married with someone and she will give birth to a child in the house of that person, then people will not have the reason to raise any objection. So it says that इसलिए निकाह कर दिया गया. He said for this reason, इसलिए for what reason? Because they wanted to cover up the whole issue. They wanted to save the family from humiliation that a virgin woman is giving birth to a child. Okay, and then Mirza says, रूहानी खजाइन वॉल्यूम 20 पेज 355, लेकिन जब 6-7 महीने का हमल नुमाया हो गया, तब हमल की हालत में ही कौम के बुजुर्गों ने मरियम का यूसुफ नाम के एक नज्जार से निकाह कर दिया. He says that when Maryam was pregnant with 6 or 7 months, she was into her pregnancy 6 to 7 months, the family, the elders, they made her marry जोसेफ द कारपेंटर. और इसके घर जाते ही 1-2 माह के बाद मरियम को बेटा पैदा हो गया. एंड आफ्टर शी वेंट इनटू द हाउस ऑफ जोसेफ, आफ्टर कपल ऑफ मंथ्स जीसस वाज बोर्न, एंड दिस बेबी इज कॉल्ड ईसा और जीसस और मसाया, व्हाटएवर. ओके, मलफूजात वॉल्यूम नंबर 2 पेज 504. जबकि हमल हो चुका था, तो हमल में निकाह क्यों किया गया? मिर्जा सेज दैट why did they marry Maryam during pregnancy? Because as I quoted earlier, nikah in pregnancy, according to Mirza, according to law of Torah, it was haram. Mirza says that volume 20 पेज 365 ऑफ रूहानी खजाइन. तीसरा एतराज ये है कि तौरात की रूह से ये बिल्कुल हराम और नाजायज था कि हमल की हालत में किसी औरत का निकाह किया जाए. मिर्जा सेज अकॉर्डिंग टू द लॉ ऑफ तौरा इट वाज एब्सोल्युटली हराम एंड इल्लेजिटिमेट, नाजायज और हराम कि हमल की हालत में किसी औरत का निकाह किया जाए, दैट अ वुमन इज मैरिड ड्यूरिंग हर प्रेगनेंसी. then मिर्जा सेज फिर क्यों खिलाफ हुक्म तौरात मरियम का निकाह एन हमल में किसी औरत का निकाह किया जाए. Mirza says then why is it the case that right in the middle of her pregnancy she was married? Okay, now one more quote, Malfuzat volume 2 page 322. Now please Monarchs, pay attention. Mirza says abhor talab ye amr hai. Mirza says the point of reflection is यहूदियों ने तो अपनी शरारत से और हद से बड़ी हुई शोखी से हजरत मसीह की पैदाइश को नाजायज करार दिया. Mirza says that the Jews out of their out of them crossing the limit in terms of disrespecting Isa alayhi salam, they declared that the birth of Isa alayhi salam is illegitimate. Nauzubillah. And then Mirza says, और उन्होंने जुल्म पर जुल्म किया. Mirza says, and they committed an oppression over oppression. And what was that? एक तारिका और नजर दी हुई लड़की का अपनी शरीयत के खिलाफ निकाह किया और फिर हमल में निकाह किया. Mirza says that the oppression they committed was that they had Maryam alayhi salam married even though she was not supposed to marry because of her oath, and secondly she married during pregnancy. And then Mirza says इस तरह पे उन्होंने शरीयत मूसवी की तौहीन की. Mirza says that the family disrespected, they showed disregard to the sharia of Musa alayhi salam. वहीं हजरत मसीह पाक पैदाइश पे नुक्ताचीनी की और ऐसी नुक्ताचीनी जिसको हम सुन भी नहीं सकते. Mirza says that in doing so they raised the objections on the birth of Jesus of such a nature we can't even hear them. Now the point was that Mirza is admitting and conceding that the family went against the law of Moses. And then it says Malfuzat volume 2 page 505. असल बात ये मालूम होती है, मोनाकस please pay attention, असल बात ये मालूम होती है. Mirza says that the real matter is, ये देखा जाता है कि अगर शरीफ खानदान की कोई लड़की हामला हो जाए, he says that if a virgin or if a non-married woman of a family and it's a noble family and the woman is not married and she becomes pregnant, then what happens? तो झटपट इसका निकाह कर देते हैं. Then the family immediately in a swift way try to get her married ताकि नाक ना कट जाए, so they are not humiliated in the society. Don't forget, Mirza is addressing the problem that how come if nikah was against the law of Torah, it was haram, it was najaiz, and the family knew all of that, why did they still do this? Mirza says that because they wanted to save themselves from humiliation, but it does not change the fact that nikah was haram. Now okay, let me inshallah quote maybe. Okay, let me actually stop here. Okay, let me just quote one more quotation. More quotation.
Yes, go ahead, inshallah. Because this is
रूहानी खजाइन volume 19 page number 18. लोग एतराज करते हैं. Mirza says that the people raise objection. Now don't forget, Monarchs, Mirza Ghulam Qadiani is going to address the objection of quote unquote people. लोग एतराज करते हैं कि बरखिलाफ तालीम तौरात एन हमल में क्यों निकाह किया. That why Maryam alayhi salam was married right in the middle of her pregnancy, because this was against the law of Torah. और बतूल होने के अहद को तोड़ दिया, and she was going to be virgin or she was going to be bachelor. Why did she break this promise, this covenant? और तअद्दुद अज़वाज की क्यों बुनियाद डाली? Because Mirza believed that Joseph the carpenter has a previous wife as well. He said that how come that they laid the foundation of polygamy, multiple marriage? यानी बावजूद यूसुफ नज्जार की पहली बीवी होने के फिर मरियम क्यों राजी हुई? Mirza says that how come even though Joseph the carpenter had a wife already, why did Maryam agree on this marriage? Now don't forget at this point, now Mirza is telling us that this marriage took place with the consent of Maryam. That's the key point in this passage. मरियम क्यों राजी हुई यूसुफ नज्जार के निकाह में आवे? That why did Maryam agree or why did Maryam give consent that she is okay to be in the marriage of Yusuf the carpenter, Joseph the carpenter? Then Mirza says, pay attention, मगर मैं कहता हूँ, Mirza says, I say, ये सब मजबूरियां थी. Mirza says all of these were not their choice, not their option. They were forced into this situation. जो पेश आ गई इस सूरत में वो लोग काबिले रहम थे ना काबिले इतराज. Mirza says, now the reason I quoted this one, Mr. Munakas, Mirza is not disputing the fact that nikah was haram, it was najaiz, it was against the law of Torah, but he is giving us justification. And what is that? The family was forced into this situation. Why? Because Maryam had got pregnant and she is an unmarried woman. It will be humiliation in the society for the whole family. So they wanted to cover it up.
So, Monakas, there was overwhelming evidence for you. It took us about nearly 20 minutes to put the evidence to you. It's clear now that Mirza Ghulam Qadiani believed and conceded that Maryam A.S. was in a haram relationship against her will and she was forced to break the law of Allah. Monakas, is this clear now that Mirza Ghulam Qadiani had this belief?
Yes, first of all, it is clear to me. The evidence has been presented to me, so I accept that. I accept that this is his source, this is his statement. But if I just can make some remarks, if it's okay.
Yeah, you can. But first thing is that you are now convinced that Mirza did believe this and did put this belief out in his books and his writings, that Maryam was in a haram relationship and was married against the law of Allah. Yes?
No, yes, I accept it. This is Mirza Ghulam Ahmed's statement. Yes, I accept that.
And he accepted this to have occurred.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I accept that.
Okay. So by that virtue, that now you should actually leave the cult, because you said that if this is the case, if he believed it and put this out, you will leave the cult.
Yes. I just want to make a remark in regards to that, because respectfully, when brother Imtiaz said that, did you know that Mirza Ghulam Ahmed believed that Maryam was in a haram relationship?
Yeah.
To be honest, I was actually, because I'm not aware of it, I was expecting the worst. I was expecting that Mirza Ghulam Ahmed believed that Maryam had some sort of intimate relationship with Joseph the carpenter, even before the marriage. But what has been presented to me, I'll be very honest, this was not as worst as I was expecting it, because technically he is not wrong.
Okay.
I mean, because if Maryam was consecrated in the temple to be a virgin, which there was some sort of law in the Torah, then it's a very good question as to why she was eventually betrothed to Joseph.
Wait.
That's why.
Yeah. So that's fine. So now you are basically doing exactly what Mirza was doing there, Mirza Ghulam Qadiani. You said it's going to be worse than that, and it's not actually worse. What we claimed was that she was married into a haram relationship. We never claimed intimacy. We never stated that she was actually having sex with Joseph the carpenter. Did we say that? No.
No, you didn't say that, but I thought I said I was under that impression.
No, wait. No, that's your impression. We claim that Mirza wrote that Maryam alayhi salam was married against the law of Allah to Joseph the carpenter. There is no Joseph the carpenter in Quran. There is no Joseph the carpenter in the Sunnah. There is only Joseph the carpenter in the biblical text, and this Joseph the carpenter you heard about is in Mirza's head. This Joseph doesn't even exist in the New Testament and even the apocryphal Christian literature. This Joseph you heard about exists nowhere. That story cannot be found anywhere that Mirza put out from an unknown Jewish source that we cannot find and locate anywhere in the world. So now, if I show you that, so first of all, you're convinced that Mirza did believe that Maryam was in a haram marriage. Yes, you're convinced.
Yes.
Okay. Now, if we show you that Mirza also wrote that Maryam had some sort of intimate relationship, a possible intimate relationship with Joseph the carpenter before marriage, if we show that to you, will you then leave the cult?
That will be the most important point for me. Yeah.
Okay, we're going to show you a reference that Mirza uses sexual relationships as an example, talk about Mary and Joseph the carpenter being together before marriage.
Adnan bhai, there's a caveat here. If you allow me to make one point, bhai.
No, before the caveat.
No, bhai, that is important. Okay, Munakas, you have agreed that this nikah between Joseph and Maryam was haram, right?
Yes.
Okay. So obviously now that's one point, that you believe that nikah was haram. So after the birth of Jesus, there is no evidence, and it will be absolute nonsense even to assume that they did another nikah. Obviously not. And according to Mirza Ghulam Qadiani, and you also hinted that one, that after the birth of Jesus, obviously at the end of the day, Joseph is, according to in this narrative, Mazallah, Joseph is the husband of Maryam, right? Munakas, right?
Haram.
Yes. I
Haram.
mean, he should.
Okay, they
Yes,
would obviously after the birth of Jesus, the nikah was still haram, right?
I suppose so.
No, obviously it began as a haram nikah. It will continue to be haram nikah.
It's
So,
invalid.
Gigi. So basically, Munakas, there was no nikah in reality between Maryam Salamun Alaiha and Joseph the carpenter. And I seek Allah's forgiveness and refuge that I have to quote these things, but it's out of necessity and this stage. So listen, Munakas, very carefully. So basically, you agree, and nobody can deny that this was that one nikah which took place between Joseph and Maryam, and this was an invalid haram nikah. So obviously, after the birth of Jesus, when they have intimacy, was it halal or haram?
Technically, it will be haram then. Technically.
Haram. So now you tell
So
us.
no,
Now we have
wait. It's zina. It's zina. It's
zina.
zina.
Exactly.
Yes.
So
So
basically,
yeah.
Munakas, basically, what you said before, that prove to me the verse. We have proven to you the verse. There was Maazallah, there was adultery or fornication being committed between Maryam and Joseph. What would you say now?
But how would that be classified as adultery when everyone is in agreement that they are married and their marriage is public?
Wait. Munakas, wait. Before you go on that trail. So let's go again to point by point. This nikah was initially haram. You agreed with that. You also agreed that nikah continued to be haram or illegitimate or invalid. These are the 2 points you agreed. So having an invalid relationship or nikah or whatever you want to call it, if they would have intimacy, why that would be halal?
I mean, the best argument I can provide why it will still be halal is because there is witnesses to their marriage, even though it was
Brother,
haram from the perspective of the Torah.
Munakas, wait. For example, Munakas, let me bring it home.
No,
For
Imtiaz
example,
Imtiaz bhai,
Gigi,
please 1 second. Munakas, the nikah was haram. You've conceded. The nikah was haram even at the birth of Jesus Christ, according to Mirza Ghulam Qadiani's narrative. Nikah is still invalid according to the law of Allah, according to Sharia, according to the law of Musa alayhi salam, according to Torah. 4 terms Mirza has used interchangeably in his quote: the law of Allah, the law of Musa, the law of Torah, and Sharia. Okay, these are Mirza's words I'm using. According to all these aspects, the nikah was invalid, haram. Okay, against law. Therefore, it cannot occur. It did not occur in the first place. What witnesses? What witnesses? There are no witnesses when the nikah is invalid. So nikah is invalid. Zina, if they have intimacy, zina is lazim. Zina, the accusation of zina or the occurrence of zina is necessary in this case. You
and
cannot.
Adnan Bhai Munakas has admitted that already, that this intimacy was zina.
Yes.
Because if she was consecrated as a virgin per the Torah and she was still married, then of course that will be the breaking of the commandment of the Torah. So
Brother
Munakas,
Munakas Bhai, wait 1 minute. Munakas Bhai, let's go point to point. You agree with point number 1 that nikah, when it happened, it was not nikah, it was a haram agreement, invalid agreement. There was no nikah. Number 1. Number 2, you also agreed that it will continue to be a haram nikah because it was haram to begin with. You also agreed, Munakas, already. Number 3, that whenever, no matter at what stage they're gonna have intimacy, that will be zina because there's no marriage. So these 3 points, Munakas, have been established. Which one of these 3 points you are disputing?
Okay, so I will dispute the point where it would still continue to be haram. I will dispute that point on the basis that the son that she carried, Isa alayhi salam, he was a Nabi, and he himself abrogated certain parts of the Torah. So I mean, maybe there one can make a claim that
you're picking this up. Wait.
Habibi Munakas.
No, this is just a thought. This is just a thought.
Let me ask him a question. When a qadi finds out that 2 people have been married, but they were breastfed by the same woman. They were breastfed by the same woman, and the qadi finds out that they were married to each other. What does he do?
No, of course it will be invalid according to Sharia.
No, yeah, exactly. But what does he do? What does the qadi do?
The marriage is nullified, and they will be under the punishment of.
The marriage never occurred in the first place, with all the bands and all the DJs and all the celebration and all the videography and all the witnesses and all the Maulvis are reading the nikah. It is not valid. The nikah, they will be separated immediately because they're not even married, because they were in a haram relationship. Do you get the point?
Yes, I get the point.
So the marriage of Joseph and Mary never occurred because it was haram, because the law does not allow it. Therefore, relationship is not legitimate. It is not sanctioned by Allah. Nikah in Islam or in the law of the prophets mean that 2 people come together by reciting the name of Allah to legitimize their relationship. When the relationship is not legitimate, for example, a father and a daughter, or a son and a mother cannot be married, even if you read the Quran. It doesn't occur. So, according to the law of Torah, according to the law of Moses, according to the Sharia, the law of Allah, Mary was not married. But Mirza is saying they were together, they were in a haram relationship to begin with, and that relationship continued even after Jesus was born. There is no escaping from it, brother. And the only escape is that you abandon, you ditch this cult, you send lanat upon Mirza and send him where he belongs and come to Islam, brother. This is the only way you can get out of it. There is no other
Munakas,
way.
yeah. Sorry, Munakas, before you say, by the way, you will be given every opportunity to respond. Don't worry about that. Munakas, look, is it possible that I can beg to you to be honest in this conversation? You and we both agreed initially to prove to you that nikah of Maryam alayhi salam was haram. When we proved that one, you conceded that one. You said that no, I was thinking that it may be worse. And then you explained that what could be worse, that she was having intimacy with someone who is not actually her husband. Now we have proven to you that point as well, because you have conceded. Look, Munakas, you have conceded. And by the way, it's not a trick. We are not having any trick here. These are three simple points. Nikah started as a haram thing. It was not a nikah. It will continue to be haram no matter how much time has passed. And whenever they will have intimacy, and according to Mirza Ghulam Qadiani, they did have intimacy, by the way. They did have intimacy. Okay. Now the point is, you already said this, Munakas, that at whatever point they will have intimacy, there will be zina. So you said they proved to me the zina. We proved to you already. What else you want?
No, I agree. It's not a trick question. I don't think that. In fact, it was wrong of me because I myself created that impression. I don't know why, but I got that impression. I was under the impression, and when I agreed to the condition that I will leave Ahmadiyya, it was on the condition that Mirza Ghulam Ahmad would say that Maryam was of a faulty character, that she herself desired to just, commit zina, and she herself was not a respectful lady. This was what I was expecting, not because you have said it. It's not, but this is on me. It's my fault for even creating that impression for myself. But I just want to make it clear that it was under that impression that I want to accept those conditions. But either way, I just want to say that I have made a promise that I would join the stream, and I will, because I'm in contact with some Ahmadis. So
Brother,
I will.
Munakas, wait. Before you go to the either way, look, you agreed that nikah was haram, right, Munakas?
Yes, I agreed on that point.
You agreed that it will continue to be haram.
Yes, I did. Yes.
You agreed that under this haram nikah, no matter when they have intimacy, it will be zina.
Then technically it would be zina. Yes, I suppose.
It will be zina, right? Okay, now, my brother, is it okay for you to accept someone as a prophet of Allah? And one of the implication of, because when we accept someone as a prophet of Allah, we cannot pick and choose. We have to believe in everything this person has to offer. Especially Mirza Ghulam Qadiani made it very clear that I am Hakam and Adal. And by the way, on this particular case of marriage of Maryam, he said this was a historical mistake of Muslims, which I have corrected. I can give you reference as well, by the way. Now, Munakas, I'm just trying to fathom this thought. Wallahi, help us to fathom this thought that you are believing in someone as a prophet of Allah, as a truthful person, knowing and agreeing that the belief of this person is that Maryam Na'uzubillah was committing zina.
I am convinced of insincerity. I don't think that Mirza Ghulam Ahmad is, how to say it, I'm losing the English words here. I don't think he's making those claims out of some sort of spite.
We can discuss the claim. I am concerned. You have conceded with the point that on the narrative of Mirza Ghulam Qadiani, Nauzubillah, Maryam A.S. is committing adultery. And you just said when we start this conversation that this is something against Quran, against Sunnah, and unacceptable for you. This is what you said.
Yes, but of course the Quran says, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that Maryam is purified, that Allah have chosen her and purified her. But in the sense that she is not a lewd woman, if you can put it in that way, and this proves that she wasn't that. This was a technical breaking of the commandments of the Torah, not because there was some fault in her own character. It doesn't say, nor did Mirza Ghulam Ahmad.
Munakas, this is very painful to see. You are accepting the result because end result does not change. Zina will continue to be zina. Haram nikah will continue to be haram nikah. Facts are not being changed. Now, what Mirza Ghulam Qadiani did, you are trying to justify the haram. Now wait a second. Can I ask you this question? That what is there? What is the necessity that when something is haram, something haram has to be attributed to Maryam alayhi salam as a result of accepting Mirza Ghulam Qadiani's narrative, but you still want to accept that narrative? Why? What's the reason?
But if it's a fact that Maryam was consecrated as a virgin in the
It
temple,
is not. Look,
how?
wait. We have no evidence it is fact. There is no evidence. That's my point, my brother Monakas. I'm asking you the question that you are admitting that the implication of accepting Mirza's narrative is that Nauzubillah, Maryam was committing zina. That is the necessary implication of accepting Mirza's narrative. But you still want to accept that narrative. Why?
Because of other considerations. Because in
What
regards to
are they? What are they? For example, do you have anything in the Quran or anything in the Sunnah which is forcing you to accept that she has to marry with Joseph?
no.
Okay,
No.
now if there's nothing in the Quran forcing you, nothing in the Sunnah forcing you, then what is that legitimate good reason or excuse for which you have to admit this narrative which necessarily causes zina?
Because this is what is stated in the sources of the
Exactly. No, not. This is because this is what Mirza Ghulam Qadiani said, right? It means that there's no Quran, there's no Sunnah, there's no human reasoning. It's all about Mirza Ghulam Qadiani, right?
Well, yes.
Why? Reason. Is Mirza Ghulam Qadiani above Quran and Sunnah or under Quran and Sunnah?
And that's what he claims.
Okay, now you said before, Munakas, that according to Quran and Sunnah, it is not even plausible to imagine to believe that Maryam could have committed zina. This is what you said. According to Quran and Sunnah, it's not even plausible to believe that she would have committed zina. But on the other hand, even though you're believing, because Quran and Sunnah does not allow us at all, that we can consider that she could have committed zina, but you still want to believe she committed zina. It means
No.
that you are placing Mirza Ghulam Qadiani above Quran and Sunnah.
No. The Quran declares the akhlaq of Maryam to be pure. Her akhlaq, her intentions, her desires is pure. This is what the Quran declares.
Habibi, somebody committing zina, how can that person be pure?
But committing zina by breaking a technical law, or committing zina by desiring to just commit zina for the sake of sinfulness, I sincerely think there is a distinction between the two.
Was this marriage? Obviously, the marriage was haram, right? Was this
Yes.
marriage with the consent of Maryam?
If she was betrothed, then I don't think
I'm
this
asking you the question, brother. Wait. Nikah is haram. We both agreed. It's against the law of Torah. It's sharan haram. I'm asking you, was this marriage with the consent of Maryam?
I don't know.
Okay. If I can give you the reference, it was not through her consent.
So what do you mean that she was?
I tell you, and I can give you the reference. It was not through the consent of Joseph either. So there is no consent from the male. There's no consent from the female side, and nikah is haram to begin with. What would make this marriage a lawful marriage? Because this is the minimum condition. You will not deny that there has to be consent from both sides. There was no consent because you know why? There's a catch-20 here. Brother. If you say that Maryam conceded and she gave the consent, you know what you're saying? That she gave consent to commit haram, which is impossible.
I'm aware.
And wait. And if you say that she did not give the consent, it was still haram.
And then the Quran is proven wrong, because Quran says Allah purified her.
Yeah.
Yes, of course, the Quran says that, but when the Quran says that, it is in regards to her akhlaq. I mean, if
No,
the marriage...
brother, you're making this up. There's nothing about her akhlaq. Okay, Allah is talking about her being, her shakhsiyah. Allah is talking about her person, that Allah has purified her. Allah chose. Did Allah choose her akhlaq?
No, I see a point.
Yeah, exactly. So the point is, brother, you can try and try. I don't know what your motivations are to stick to the Jamaat or to the cult. You can try and try. There's no escape. And this is only one example, by the way. Yeah? This is only one example. That land, as a Qadiani, as an Ahmadi, you land yourself in these kind of situations, right? And we can bring an avalanche of references and claims that Mirza made that will bury you alive, and you won't be able to. And the only thing you need to realize in that process is that, what am I doing here? What the hell am I doing in this cult? Why am I even defending? Do I need to defend this? Do I even need this? Do I need Mirza to be in Jannah? Is the question. Or is the Quran and the Sunnah?
Adnan Bhai, you said that you will be buried. Subhanallah, Adnan Bhai, how surprising is that? We can't even begin to imagine. Munakas is accepting three things. She's in the haram nikah. Nikah continued to be haram, and she was committing zina, but she want to believe that.
And by this is exactly what the consequence is. A relationship that's not legitimate, and everyone knows it's not legitimate. How do we know this? Joseph the carpenter knows, Maryam knows, and the elders know.
Yes.
Know she's pregnant. Joseph knows she's pregnant. Maryam knows she's pregnant. All three parties know she's pregnant, and they still do haram. All three of them collectively do haram. They go against the law of Musa alayhi salam, and then Jesus is born in that situation. Okay, and it goes against the narrative of the Quran. My question is, no, Imtiaz bhai, you have another question now. Now, Monakas is stuck even more. The Quran says that when Jesus is born, the people point a finger at her. The Quran says the people say to her, "Oh Mary, we did not know you like." Why would they do that if she's already married to Joseph? First of all, Imtiaz bhai, my question is, why would people do that if the marriage with Joseph is already done? Number one.
Yeah.
Number two, Mary points to the child in the cradle. Okay. And the child speaks to defend his mother. Why is he doing that if Joseph is already there as a husband? Why are they even accusing her when she's already married? So clearly, Mirza's narrative is haram, false, batil, kufr on so many accounts. Mirza's entire story, Munakas, goes against the Quran, the Quranic story, the narrative of the Quran. When Mary is giving birth, Allah tells her to shake the tree. Okay, where is Joseph in all of it? Mirza brought Joseph in because Mirza had no idea how to separate between haq and batil, how to separate between lies and truth. Mirza was reading too much of Bible, Mirza read too much of the Bible and he got
No, no,
inspired.
no, 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 no. By no Bible. He
Yeah.
was reading unknown Jewish books.
Jewish book, yes. And of course, he was using he attempted using the biblical narrative, which he couldn't. He made blunders there as well. So, Monakas, the bottom line is, I'm sure you are an intelligent person and you're a decent person. We had this situation before as well with one of the guys, Mirza Ali, who said that I will leave this cult if you can show me in Mirza's words where Mirza claimed to be superior spiritually. Okay, Ashad, Aqwa, and Akmal. We showed these words to him from Mirza's son. He said, no, this is the son. I need to see the father's writing. We showed it to him in black and white, and he made similar excuses, and he just left. He left our stream, basically, yeah? And he kept coming back and kept defending the cult. I hope you're not one of those cases.
Adnan bhai, inshallah, what I'm thinking is, obviously, whatever needs to be said from both sides, we have said that. It has been recorded. People can watch that. Munakas, I want
to ask him. Munakas, are you there?
Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. So basically, brother Munakas, we are going to end the stream here, but inshallah we'll continue the discussion off camera because whatever needs to be said on camera, we have said that. Is that okay, brother Munakas?
I have one last question. I want to put it on record. Munakas, Mirza's narrative contradicts the Quran, as I explained. Munakas, can you hear him? Hello?
Yes, he can hear.
Hopefully I'm audible.
Sorry?
Am I audible to you, brother? No?
You are audible, yes.
You are. Can you?
Oh, okay. Yes, no, I affirmed your statement in regards to that because Mirza is taking his stance on the whole Joseph of the carpenter story, which is obviously absent from the Quran. So
not on that account. I mean the narrative inside the Quran about Mary's questioning by her people and elders marrying Mary to Joseph to avoid all of that. Why are they questioning her if Joseph is already married to her? So Mirza's narrative is by default contradicting the Quran. Do you get
my
the point?
basically
no, I get the point.
Munakas, basically what Adnan Bhai is saying, if a woman is living with a husband and if a woman has a husband and she gives birth to a child, why are people surprised?
Yes. So Munakas, Mirza's account is directly against the Quran. Would you agree?
Yes.
Khalas.